What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Washed Up. TJ and I are washed up. Richie's not washed up. Richie's in his prime. Just kidding. He's not in his prime. He's a couple years away from his prime. But he's BYU prime. He's primed for a great season. Last week he was just apologizing, but we were okay without him. We brought in Big Mark, the true legend. None of us
seriously
close to Marty Haas and his legendary status. But
how many years did you play for Big Mark, Richie?
Yeah, he was my coach for probably 4 years.
Oh wow.
Probably around there. Incredible coach, incredible guy.
He is,
as you guys know.
We'll keep Mark.
Listen, if we're gonna jump into young Richie, I have to share a story because there's a process with BYU basketball. You got to go through Tyson. Tyson's the guy you got to go through if you're gonna get the stars on the show. And every time someone comes on from the team, we ask him like, hey, is there something you would add to these questions that we're gonna ask? And he was like, I don't think people realize the grind that Richie Saunders went through and just the work that he continues to put in as a young player to get to where he is. I don't know if you remember any of these workouts, but I texted him back and I was like, man, I actually am glad you said that, because I don't know if we were necessarily going to highlight it. But when I was in the middle of my pro career and coming back for summer workouts, I think we went to like AF or PG.
Yeah.
I think it was PG, maybe. It was the old gym.
The old gym. I remember that. Yeah.
PG, yes, because I would go lift with them in the morning. I don't remember if you were there for that. But then Paul Peterson, head coach at Wasatch, would just absolutely obliterate us. And everybody that hoops knows, like, the less people in the workout, the worse it is. And it was just me and Richie just going.
Those are good times. Those are good times.
For Richie, though, the less is probably better. He's just like, I go harder. I'm way more in shape. This is how I roll.
Yeah. What's wrong with you, bro?
I tell people this all the time, just because I think you're one of the most in shape players in college basketball. And I tell people this story all the time. Like, I don't remember what year it was. I think you were fresh off the Mish, and we were playing pickup in the Marriott Center, and you were picking me up full court, and I was like, dude, we're in pickup. Just like, leave me alone. And it's just like, you're just like picking me up, harassing me, making life uncomfortable. And I just like, I love that about you. It's just who you are, man.
No, I appreciate that. I mean, it's funny even sitting here with y'all. Like, I don't think you guys realize how much I watched y'all growing up, And a lot of these early workouts, like, I remember I was like, I knew that, especially you, TJ, and your brother, and I knew TJ and Tyler were in the gym. I knew they were in the gym, so I was going to be in the gym as a little, I don't know, 9-year-old, 10-year-old, which is it's funny, but I mean, y'all have been a layer along the journey for me for sure. And it's a lot of good times.
You're kind. Now the roles are reversed. I'm watching you, and I'm just
but not completely reversed. TJ knows Richie's in the gym. TJ's not in the gym though. He's not getting back
the need's not there anymore. There's a season for that.
We like have such a hard time. It's so different when you transition to life after basketball. It's like, I've told so many people this. I used to get on my siblings all the time about like, and my parents like, man, you guys just got to make it a priority. You got to work out every day. Like, why aren't you in the gym? And they're just like, Eric, you don't get it. You're in the gym all day. Like, you can't not be in shape. Like, even if you're around, like as a coach, you have time and facilities to get into shape. And yeah, I felt that. We got to get in the gym, but we're getting there. We're getting there. All right. Well, Richie, obviously fantastic season last year. A stud for BYU for a while now. We got to be efficient with your time here. One question that TJ and I discussed going into this was the last 2 seasons you've had big decisions to come back to BYU. Both times you came back. I'm sure you've spoken on it a bunch, right? But would just kind of love to hear that decision-making process both years. How are they the same? How are they different? And what is it that just keeps bringing you back?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, those are could talk for 3 hours on those.
Yeah.
But like just to try to sum everything up, like it's a blessing to have opportunities and a blessing to have decisions. That's like both for both times we had to keep reminding ourselves, me and my wife had to keep reminding ourselves of the blessing it is to be in this position to have a decision to make.
Yeah.
So I mean, throw it back last year, right? Last first year before first year of KY, when Pope left, like that was one of those really hard decisions. One that we didn't want to have to make. We were happy with what was going on, and ultimately, right, we went in the portal to figure it out. And um, there's an incredible opportunity, and I feel like as we were praying, um, I felt like God was kind of like, man, just you guys just anything's gonna be great. You guys got it. And so, I mean, as we went to work and to really figure out where we should be, it just we were actually in Central America trying to get away from basketball. When
Mm.
coincidentally, like we had this trip planned a while a while before, but we were in Central America when literally we took our visit out to Kentucky. Next day, we were on a flight to Guatemala, and literally like we made it. We were just I can remember right where it was where we just like because we went through everything and we're just like, man, I think we need to stay at BYU.
Wow.
And we weren't sure at that time what it was going to be like, right? And that's I think like the hard thing about decisions is when you make a decision, you don't know what it's going to be like,
Right.
right? And you just sitting there with faith in God, but just the thing of like, man, I hope this is what we need to be doing. But I just automatically gained a lot of trust or gained a lot of respect and trust for KY, of just seeing how he can help me progress in my career and just develop as a player. And um, I'll flip it to this last spring. After a really fun year, um, with just so much gratitude for how that all shaped up and stuff. And um, we did again, and we had the opportunity to pursue the next level and enter that draft, or do we come back and do we prepare and stay here? And ultimately, as that was a really another really hard decision, one that we were really really grateful to have. But ultimately, like it came down to a few things for us. Is like one is like, um, am I who I want to be? I feel like as I'm older, right? It's not like I'm a big development guy. Once we get to the next level, it's like right, for you guys know it, but just for those that don't, like plug and play is kind of the verbiage. Is like I got to be able to just go right into the system and produce.
Yeah.
Um, and so I was just like, man, I don't know if I'm ready to be like this is who I am.
Yeah.
I feel like I was grateful and fortunate enough to get to last year to where I saw some holes in my game where I was like, man, I really got to improve on this. And so I felt like, man, I want to. I felt like I wasn't ready to put all my cards out there and say this is who I am. I want to become an incredible, like a better defender and be able to handle this ball and more efficiently. So that's what this whole summer's consisted of. And then at the end of the day, it was like there's something really fun going on,
Yeah.
and there's an incredible opportunity to come back, get better, and um, to um, to really compete for a national championship and all those things, right? And so it's like regret would we regret like being on the road in March, right, or whatever, and turn on the TV and seeing a fun BYU game or not, and being in a different situation. And again, I just want to emphasize like it's an incredible opportunity to have different
Yeah.
options, and I believe if you make the best of what you're where you're at, right? But like it's just like we like I feel like I wasn't ready to be done, and I wanted to just improve and to really play and to compete at a fun level and enjoy
Awesome.
this while we
That's
can.
that's
No,
awesome.
that's amazing. You mentioned, you know, things that you're trying to focus on, holes in your game, things like that. And Eric and I have been to, you've seen us at a few of your guys' practices and watching what you guys do. And like, we love watching KY and watching him coach and just like his mind. I'm curious to hear like how he's helped you prep for the next level, how he's helped you, see the holes in your game and help you see like, dude, this is what you need to do to progress to the next level. Like how has he helped you in those areas?
Yeah. I mean, he just really has emphasized this defensive end for me. And
Mm.
I know a lot of gratitude to him. Like I can't remember if I said it already, but just he's really helped me to get to my spots to be successful.
Yeah.
So he's kind of set up this opportunity. But he's really just emphasized just that defensive being able to just lock down on defense and really be an efficient ball screen defender. And like the other focus for the summer of just handling this ball, being able to just show that you can do this. And I mean, Coach John Linehan has been instrumental in all of that and of the execution. But a lot of times this spring with KY of figuring out um, where should we put our efforts and our time in the summer.
Did you know, fun fact, did you know Coach Linehan, did you know his nickname in France when he was out there playing?
I did. I've seen some of his clips, man. The
They call him
virus is
Virus,
crazy.
the virus. I posted because I went to this thing, this USA thing, so I saw AJ and Coach was there. And so we took a picture together, and this guy who I played with in France responded and was like, "Bro, it's the virus." Like, that's
Yeah.
dope. You're with it. Like, this guy didn't care about AJ, didn't care about like USA basketball. He's like, "You're with the virus." That's awesome.
Seriously. I
That's
mean,
that's
he won, I think, 3 Euro League
yeah,
cups. Like
crazy.
that's a big deal. I think a lot of the Americans, they don't understand how crazy of a thing that is. That's a big deal.
It's hard to stick over there, and definitely harder
Seriously.
to win. Speaking of the summer, you talked about what your focus was, kind of being more of a ball handler, becoming a number one defensive piece. What was the rest of the summer like? Like with the team, who was the biggest surprise for you? What was different about this summer and this specific team and summers that you've had in the past?
Yeah. It was just there's a lot of new guys, right? First and foremost, a lot of new guys, and so we've just played more than any other summer I think of my college. I've done this is my fourth summer, right?
Yeah,
Fourth summer of doing this. It's like, wow, we were playing a lot. We're just
yeah,
getting up and down, which is fun because we've had to figure out, and we're going to for the next month of figure out how to all um, gel and all that. And but I mean, just the obvious names have been really good, but I think like Moo, Kennard Davis has been I think it's been really fun to get on the court with him. Um, he is an incredible defender. It's fun to be defending right next to him and
Yeah.
be playing with him. He's been a big piece, and he will be. Excited for everybody else to kind of get to know him because he's I think a little bit more in the shadows in some regards.
I mean, that's awesome to hear because that's probably a guy you hear about the least, right? Like maybe is flying a little bit under the radar, but to hear you say that he's going to be a big piece is exciting, right? Because there's a lot of
Yeah,
exciting pieces, and so there's just
yeah,
no there.
and it's hard. I mean, it's been a good summer, and there's been so many like good people, and yeah, it's gonna be a fun year.
Yep. No, we're super pumped. It's gonna be a special year. I mean, obvious question, like how has it been playing with AJ? How is he gonna help your game? How does he help, obviously he's a talented player, but how does he fit in with the team? How has that been this whole summer?
No, it's been good, 100%. It's been good. I mean, he really is just an incredible athlete, incredible basketball player, and so it's fun to have that type of talent to play with. Um, I mean, hoping selfishly that he does what he does because that helps me to get open more, you know.
So,
Um, but I mean, I think he's going to be like he's learned how to use his wingspan on the defensive end, and I think as he's doing that and figuring out how to use his body, he can be a really good defender.
We've been talking a lot about defense here in this.
It's funny, especially for
we
got some offensive guys, you know.
Eric and I don't even know what defense is. We're like, what are you talking about?
You guys lost me like 10 minutes ago.
That's funny.
That was my problem, obviously. Last question, and then we're actually going to welcome Mr. Trevin Knell here is going to be on the stage with us for a couple minutes, and then we'll let you go, Richie. I got to ask quickly, 1 minute synopsis of this whirlwind. You guys go on an incredible run. You had that win streak, and then you go into March Madness with a ton of momentum. You personally were playing at a high level, and then the world of NIL, like nowadays, like things just happen, right? Like cool partnerships and interesting sponsorships. You had one with Tater Tot Company. Like, what was that like? That was so wild for us.
It was funny.
Like, oh my gosh, this is dope. Like a national brand is like getting all this clout. Richie's getting this deal. Like,
yeah, it's funny.
Napoleon Dynamite sitting courtside. I know that sounds like so corny and like so typical BYU. Like, we care about Napoleon Dynamite, John Heater being courtside versus like Lil Wayne for like other.
Sure.
But like, what was that like? Was that a whirlwind? Was that fun?
No, it was a lot of fun. It was funny how I was literally only getting asked Tater Tot stuff. But I mean, ultimately, like Orida, the company that we've worked with, like they did a really good job of in Denver. The day we got there, they flew a team of 9 out and did all their production stuff just real quick. We found a little studio in Denver, and they just lit it up. I think honestly, there was over 2 billion tapbacks from or whatever clicks from that campaign.
Holy cow!
So, which is absurd. And so,
per click, bro. Like you should have.
I know, right?
I'm getting a couple.
Yeah, 100%. We gotta make sure that because I mean, we'll have some fun stuff coming this year, I'm sure, and just as we're in talking for this next year, but that's the way to do it right there.
That's the way to do it right there. Puts a little bit of pressure on you, but there's some upside. Well, let's have Trevin on here. We're just gonna ask you guys both 2 questions while you're here together.
Trevin Knell.
Look at this guy, Killer Trev.
What's up, everybody?
Captain USA. I gotta just ask. I heard, and saw clips. There were guys, previous players that came and played. Trev, I think you were one of those guys. You were around this summer. Is that correct?
Yeah, it was awesome to be around the guys. Like, it's such a weird feeling when you like are officially done, but it was fun. Like, me and Trey were there. Got to play with all those guys, and it was fun, see Richie take upon like himself the new kind of the vet. He's like the oldest guy on the team now, the oldest guy like that's been there all 4 years.
Lot of respect for
but the podcast is going to talk about Richie Saunders and how old he is instead of Trevin Knell. Take that from me.
But it's super cool. The guys are going to be really tough this year. It's going to be awesome to see them just perform and succeed.
Trev, I want to ask you this, and then Richie, get your take on it. We had Justin Young on here probably a couple months ago, and like huge impression upon both of us just about like the culture that they're trying to create. And then last week, we mentioned Tom Homo at lunch with us, talked about, man, like KY, like he's not messing around. Like he's really getting guys that believe in how we're doing things and how BYU is different, and they're buying into it. And surface level, you think, yeah, of course he's saying that. But then Tom was like, no, like you don't get it. Like he's turning guys away that are talented that won't fit in this. And so, Trev, what is it like? The culture, it was quickly stood up, and you guys just had like a flashbang season, but there must have been the right things in the mix to build that culture. Did you see that this summer, or you and Trey are trying to kind of pass that torch? And then going to Richie, like, are you seeing that carried on? Like, obviously that's a big part of, you stepping up as even more of a leader than you were last year, I would assume. What is that transfer like?
Yeah, I'll just touch base. Like, I think we just had such a core group, and then like Kevin Young did a great job of keeping that core group together.
Yeah.
And so I think that's where we built the culture from the ground up. We had a lot of guys leave, and then all of a sudden we had like a core group for 3 years, and then it just the culture's already been established, right? And so it was really cool. This summer was fun because, you know, me and Trey were there. We were kind of seeing how guys would react. But the culture is still there. Like, you can see Richie talking to guys. You can see Richie pulling the young cats off to the side, and it's just really cool to see kind of the leadership kind of baton getting passed, the culture being established again. And like Kevin Young's huge about just the competitive nature of practice. You might not go like 2.5, 3 hours, but the competitive nature for an hour and a half is going to be there. And I think that's what's really going to set apart, this year's team from all the rest of the teams.
That's dope. That's dope. Richie, what would you add? And then we're gonna let you go, I guess.
Rich.
Come on, man. No, I'd say it's really fun to have these, like, the older guys in the gym. It's crazy thinking I'll play this year without some of the guys I played with for a long time, and learned so much from everybody, and like from you, Trev. And so, like, it is different because it's like this is a new team. This is a new team, and I feel like I felt like a little bit like, man, I'm kind of the only guy that Dawson sadly has been going through some stuff, and so it's been like there's a lot on me with kind of helping steer the ship a little bit, and so it's like it's been really good for taking some of the stuff I've learned from some of these other great leaders I've been around, and trying to figure out how to apply it to this new younger team.
That's big time.
Because ultimately this is a new team. We're gonna figure out how to carry over from last year, but also figure out how to do it like a little bit new style, because there's new people, which is a good challenge.
Yeah. Well, that's dope. Richie, thank you for being here, dude. We're gonna let you go. We promised 20 minutes. We kept pretty close to
You're right there. Hey, happy to be with y'all. Y'all are studs, and really appreciate you guys.
You're the man. We'll see you, Rich.
See you guys.
Trav, what's up, brother?
Dude, now we got the three like vets talking. We get the young buck out of there. Like, now we can really talk shop.
Okay, but real question. This is washed up. I don't think you're washed up yet. That's our first question. You were doing this three, it's funny. Everyone calls it 3x3. I'm like, I call it 3-on-3, but when I've been around,
get it right. All right. Respect the name. All right.
I'm calling it 3x3.
So you're not calling it 3-on-3?
Oh, it's 3x3. Come on, Tej.
All right. Tej, don't make that face, bro.
No,
I'm fine. I embraced it.
I know it's not 5x5, it's 5-on-5, but this is not 3-on-3, it's 3x3.
All right. Okay, now I got it. 3x3.
I
won't make that mistake again.
Doing that, tell us where you're at on that and just kind of your pro career. Obviously, you stayed in shape this summer. You had a lot going on. Are there updates there, or is it really just kind of waiting to see, what's enticing versus maybe moving on and doing something else?
Yeah, this last summer was super fun. Like, I was tempted to go do summer league stuff, and then Jimmer called and said, "Do you want to do some 3-on-3?" I guess 3x3. Look at that! You got me in my. You got it right there.
And then call it. Well, that pisses me off, bro.
But it was super fun. Like, decided to kind of trust Jimmer, and my relationship with him has been really, really good. And so our first tournament was out in Germany with, me and 3 other guys, and we ended up winning that tournament. We played Germany's national team and France's national team. Super, really, like, amazing talent. 3x3 is like crazy with like the different strategy that goes in. Like, arguably, I feel like my team specifically is like the most talented on the circuit, but it's just like the strategy and like guys playing with each other, chemistry, like that can outperform and outscore and win games that like we honestly should win. But went to Germany, won that tournament, went to Kosovo, got a rude awakening in Kosovo with some really, really high talented teams. Like Puerto Rico was really good. We played in like a town square in Kosovo, which was really cool. And there was like a concert going. We had like thousands of people watching us, music blasting, and like an electric violin with lights on it was going on while we were playing. Like, it was pretty crazy.
That's like a Vegas.
Yeah, then we played in Canada for a Masters, and that's like the biggest tournament for 3x3, and that was super cool. We saw Serbia's #1 team. We played their second best team. They were 12th in the world when we played them, and we beat them. So that was super cool. And we played in the middle of a mall. It was the second biggest mall in North America.
Jeez,
So
just
random places. But it's super cool. It's definitely a different vibe. And then I did a lot of just pre-workout stuff with the Jazz and stuff like that. So waiting to see about G League stuff, but 3x3 starts in April, so we're just waiting to see about that too. But anything's kind of up there, and it's fun to see the world a little bit, but stay in shape as it goes.
That's cool.
What would you say, like 3x3?
There you go, Teach. There you go.
I've never.
You can't even. You blew it, bro.
I did. I'm sorry. I really did.
Oh, I thought you were talking to me. I'm like, what?
No, Trev blew it.
No, 3x3. I've obviously never played that. I mean, I've done 3-on-3 stuff, and I can say that when it's in.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
That in like your team stuff, but like I feel. Help me understand like the huge differences between playing, because it seems like it's a different type of game. Like 3x3 is very different, and I would guess that like, I mean, it exposes like individual things way more just because you don't have the like as much of the team aspect, especially like defensively, things like that. So I'm curious your thoughts on what the differences are there from regular hoops and 3x3.
Yeah, it's like 10 times more physical. Like you can literally push, you can like if your hands are up in the air, it does not matter how hard you can hit somebody with your chest. Like it's pretty crazy. So that was pretty eye-opening when I was playing, especially in Kosovo. You drive, try to get to a layup, and someone would just bump you as you're driving. And as their hands are up, does not matter. So like a lot of these Serbians are just like barrel chested, like huge dudes.
It should just be advantageous for them.
Yeah. So like that's kind of like a different style. And then obviously there's only 12-second shot clock, and that starts as soon as you touch the ball. So doesn't matter, like if someone makes a layup, you touch the ball, clock starts. Doesn't start once you cross the 3-point line. So it's a lot of like quick plays, and then trying to figure out like Puerto Rico is probably the best team I played in terms of like how their strategy was, their scheming and everything. They would like screen, rescreen to a pass to a backdoor, doesn't get it, comes sprinting back off to another shot to a rescreen to a layup. Like it was insane what they were doing to us. We got cooked that game.
Is the conditioning like you were probably in really, really good shape? Did you feel like
the shape is
shape, and then there's 5-on-5 shape, and so you went 5-on-5 and you weren't in shape? Like that would be kind of weird.
Yeah, it was definitely like I went to their like a developmental camp before we started really getting into it out in Colorado Springs.
Yep.
I was playing with the like our Olympic team for 3x3, and they like we did a 2-minute drill. It's a 2-on-1 ball handler, screener, defender. Screener cannot shoot it, can't roll. All he sets is screens. First to 11 wins. So you have to stop them. You're just going for 2 straight minutes. And so it's like,
long 2 minutes is.
When people think 2 minutes is like quick. It is the longest 2 minutes of your life. Like you get done and you're literally on your knees. Like, oh, it was brutal.
There are so many things in basketball that it's like 20 seconds can be a very long time sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is the worst 20 seconds. 2 minutes is crazy.
No, it's also just like the way that the average person or fan just downplays everything. Like even today, TJ and I went and watched football practice, and it was like the safeties and corners were doing some like backpedal turn and then like go make an interception. Like it was part of their warm up. They probably do it thousands of times. But like we were talking about how like Jay Hill was calling out the footwork. Like if you have footwork like that, you're going to be good, right? And people don't realize like the average person would go out and try and do that backpedal turn, go catch. They think like, oh my gosh, it's so easy. They'd probably be like 4, 5, 6, 7 feet off from these balls because they just like, it's hard. Like guys make it look easy because they rep it over and over and over. 2 minutes becomes doable because you rep it over and over and over and over. But like everything is harder than it looks, right? And there's kind of like the Twitter couch hero mentality.
I was gonna say, I'm glad you said it.
Like, go eat another Twinkie. Like, you can't for 2
It's like,
minutes.
how did you miss that open shot? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
all day, every day. Like,
You want to miss it. What's wrong with you?
It's very true. I'm glad you said it because I was gonna say it honestly. So
yeah, there you go. There you go. Speaking of, I guess that's not exactly talking to the crowd. You got a couple texts this year talking to the crowd. What's up with that? Was what was that ref's name? He was just out to get you.
we're gonna get into this.
Yeah, Tony or something, right?
It's Tony Padilla.
Yeah, bro. The worst.
I can say because I don't play anymore, but obviously we got to be nice because I guess I was very vocal on my own show about this.
Oh, I see.
But Tony he's a good ref. He's just statistically bad against BYU. So there's like this, like, I don't know. Will was funny because when we played Arizona, I like walked down, I saw Tony like getting ready, stretching. I looked at Will Voigt and I was like, Will, dude, what are we gonna do? Like, we got Tony, like now we gotta play the refs. And he's like, oh, Tony's gonna be on our side today. And I'm like, have you seen the stats? Like, people have tweeted about this. Like, statistically, it's like a 10% chance we have to win now. And we ended up, he actually gave Richie the call.
Yeah.
And so I remember after the game, Will came up and gave me a chest bump. He's like, I told you he was going to be on our side. And then
we were so mad watching that game because he called the bad call on the other side.
So he called the bad one. And I was like, I immediately looked at Will and I was like, Will, you're such a liar. Like,
it's amazing, like the range of emotion, like especially as from it's 10 times when you're on the court.
Oh yeah.
Jeez, I remember we were watching it and it was like literally in a span of like 90 seconds, we were like cursing his name, like, are you kidding me? To like, Tony!
Yeah, it's just
so pumped. Like, that's our freaking guy right there.
But then we had the Alabama game, and I was like, okay, Tony throws a bone. Maybe he's turned to leaf, right?
Yeah.
And it was just brutal. Like, we come out at halftime, we're down 11. I remember I caught the ball in the corner, quick trigger, nothing but net, and LeBaron Philon swears at me trying to like close out. He's like, ain't no F that's going in or something like that. So I turned to our crowd. I was like, boom. And I looked at him and I was just like, nothing but net, something like that. And Tony immediately throws a text saying, I can't talk to the opposing player.
And I was like, in the first half. I
looked at Tony. I was like, Tony, this is a Sweet 16 game. I was like, emotions high. And I was like, okay, fine. Like, I respect your call. Like, I was trying to be very cordial. I was like, but you can't let Sears be doing the ice trade to our bench and talking to our coaches and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, no, I just want to let you know, like, you're one of my favorite players to ref. Like, let's not turn this into something. And I was like, favorite players? What?
Thanks for that call.
And then the very next call, Philon catches it, rips baseline. I cut him off, take one right to the chest. Classic Spencer Johnson, right? And I get a block call. And I look up and I look at the other ref. He's like, it's not my call, but that looked pretty good. And I literally was like, go talk to Tony then. Like, just go talk to him. Tony does not let me even say a word to him. I was like, okay, don't say I'm your favorite player to like ref and then do that. Oh, it was.
There's like a few feelings that are worse than like a ref being like in that position, the other ref being like, it looked good to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's why I got even more mad. I was like, my gosh. Okay.
Yeah. I had an interesting relationship with all the rest of the G League. Like, I knew all their names and they knew me. Like, I led the G League in text for a while my first year with Ignite. DM was like, hey, you got to calm down. But they just kept picking on my guys, like the young players on my team, and I'd stand up for them and I'd get a tech or it'd be a double tech. But it's like every single game, because I would like, I took fouls. Like, fouls happen, right? I'm sure I hacked more than I think, but there were some that I'm like, I know that wasn't a foul or I know that wasn't on me. And then every single game I'd be vocal about it. And the refs would come to me at halftime and be like, yeah, hey, we went and checked. You were right on that one. I'm just like, just don't even tell me. Like,
yeah.
Like, well, are you going to pay my fine now?
Yeah, my $50 G League fine. I was happy to pay those. That's a lot better than other places I've been. Well, that's that's a rabbit hole. Hopefully it doesn't get us in too much trouble, but we'll just blame it on TJ. But last question. You've been around the guys, you were part of kind of that culture shift, obviously did awesome things with Coach Pope, had an amazing run this last year with Coach Young, and then you've been still a part of it. What's your hot take? It doesn't even have to be a hot take. What are your expectations, right? Like, there are high expectations. For me personally, I think they're a little bit ludicrous. But then you also look at the team that we built and just the very quick blippet of a track record that KY has and his staff, and it doesn't seem crazy on one end, right? It's crazy because of the unknowns and how long and hard a season is, and March Madness is a crapshoot. But you also we're in a very, very good position statistically and on paper. You've been around it. What is your take on this next year? What do you think the possibilities are?
Yeah, I feel like this year's team has all the talent in the world. Down the line 1 through 5, those 5 guys are going to play a lot of minutes. So I think making sure this team's healthy is the biggest key, right? Second, if they can get out of their non-conference, their first couple games,
yeah,
I think it's a huge test for them. Super good to test those guys, battle test them before the Big 12. But it is a gauntlet they have to get through. Especially they go play Villanova the first couple games. They're playing UConn. You don't get an easy game to kind of tweak things and be like, okay, we got the rhythm. So if they can figure that out really quickly, I think Richie's gonna have to step up huge in terms of a leadership role.
Yep.
Everybody's super new. Guys are getting paid more, right? So one guy's got to step up and just be that leader, and then you're gonna have to have a second person kind of echo, because one person says it hits home. 2 people say it, that's when the magic starts to really happen. I feel like we had a really good core leadership with me, Dallin, and Richie last year, and I think that's what really helped. And so those things are the biggest things. And again, I feel like it's hard to put, and it sucks to put expectations on teams. I hated, last year people put expectations on us. With Pope, they put expectations on us, right? And expectations are it's a losing battle, because, one expectation could be win the national championship. One expectation could be, get past the Sweet 16. But for me, if I had to say my expectation, this team is at least an Elite 8 team. Down the line, I know March Madness is crazy, everything can happen, but with the length, the talent, the athleticism, the veteran kind of status that we have still, it's not crazy to say at least an Elite 8. That's what the bar is. So.
Well, that's a high bar.
And I know it's a high bar. That's what's crazy. That's what it's hard for these guys to have a lot of stuff on their back.
Crazy with how you backed it up.
Yeah. No, I'm with you too. I think we could. We're very capable of being an Elite 8 team. I think it's there. Well, Trev, we appreciate you jumping in with us. We've had a lot of great memories together. It's fun to hear you talk about what you're up to, 3x3.
Oh, there we go.
All that stuff. No, we appreciate you, man, and it's great to see you again.
I appreciate you guys. Hey, real quick, Eric, you got a nice little cut, bro. You looking good? What is going on?
No more quiet.
Yeah, it was time to get a real haircut, dude. It was 6 months too long. It was actually kind of funny. I hated it. I'd wear a hat every day. I like the flow, but I didn't actually like having long hair.
I know. I was I didn't have a hat on today, and I was like, they're both gonna wear hats. I got to fit in, But then all of a sudden, I'm the only one wearing a hat today.
A little okey doke action from Washed Up, but I looked at myself in the mirror at 1 a.m. and one night, and I was like, I hate my long hair, so I shaved it off. Had to go get it cleaned up because it looked horrendous. But it's already getting a little fuzzy. I probably need a little chop up before I go on Trevin show on Thursday.
I was gonna say, make sure you look pretty. All right,
big time. That's the
that's big time. Well, I appreciate you guys, seriously.
Thanks, Trev. Appreciate you, brother.
Yep.
All right. What a guy.
Yeah, that was good stuff. It's so crazy to me that he was a freshman when I was a senior, because he just finished at BYU, which like, man, it just time flies, and
far removed from it.
I can't believe. Yeah,
that was fun. It's kind of a lot to have two guys, but obviously them knowing each other and having played together made that like pretty seamless and fun for me. I think we should do that again with a couple people. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I know. I think we should just bring on like 10 ex-teammates at one time and just have a crazy something. Everybody's just sharing the craziest stories.
We just bring one on like every 4 or 5 minutes, and all of a sudden,
like craziest story. Go! You got 10 seconds.
That actually would be funny. Like,
it would be good.
We organized a little alumni group last year to watch. What was that? Like the Alabama, LSU, Georgia. That's right. And you know, had food, had some activities, and like getting all those guys on for 10 minutes would be hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Like, all the personalities just in one place always makes it for a good time. But
I'd love to hear like the worst conditioning story. Get like 20 people together and just like the worst, your biggest nightmare that like still haunts you.
And will you commit to doing it this week?
I know, we should see if we could survive like one just nightmare scenario.
Dude, that'd actually be so funny. Like, get those same guys I just mentioned, and like, let's go put ourselves through like a killer sprint workout, like on the treadmill or on the court, like we're running ladders, 17s with all these dudes. Oh, that would actually be so
just see who ducks out first.
Oh yeah, for sure it's gonna be me. But
and we just get a coach to come yell at us.
We just pay some like ex-military dude to just scream at us. That's actually kind of fire. Well, stay tuned for that. Now Center Street Media is going to get some ideas. They're going to be like, all right, let's do it, which I'm not against. It'd be funny. We could take that on the road too, and like go to other schools and like build alumni networks and just have people get shredded.
People are just they're so excited for that. I'm sure everyone's dying to do that.
Anyways, thank you guys for being here. We've got Tom Holmo next week. That's going to be a fun one. We just had lunch with Tom recently, and he's doing well. I think he's figuring out this transition as many people do in different phases of life, and yeah, he's the man. So we're stoked about that. He's got some awesome stories. And then week after that, we might have Coach Linehan or someone. Maybe he's the week after. But we got good people coming. So thank you guys for being here. And we'll see you next week. Teach, thanks for being here.